Hey beer tubers, Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for stopping by. Today we have an anniversary beer from Port Brewing Company. This just came out in May. This is their anniversary ale. What is their anniversary ale? Well, this is their big hoppy 10% double IPA. So it's a San Diego brewery, Port Brewing, Lost Abbey. 2 brands, 1 brewery. And yeah, this is bottled on 5/5/11, and I just picked it up, so it hasn't been in the fridge more than a few hours at this point. And the yeast didn't quite settle from the trip, but we'll see how that does on clarity. But last year's anniversary was okay. It wasn't as good as it could be, and I've heard that this one's a little bit better this year. Good amount of carbonation coming off the bottom. It is slightly hazy. Could be from the hops. It is a bit, big double IPA. Nice 2.5 finger head there, just slightly off-white, just tinge of yellow on there, mostly small bubbles. All their beers are bottle conditioned at Port Brewing, as is this one. So on the nose I'm getting some sweet orange, some grapefruit hop notes, a little bit of a resiny character, maybe a touch of malt coming through. I mean, this is like a nice, just kind of dark golden, kind of getting into orange color. So for 10%, it's not a whole lot of crystal malt going in there. Maybe there's a bit of a sweetness on there, but it's more of like sweet hops. Not too like pungent hop character, but nice smelling beer. Let's dig in. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's a nice. Wow, that's kind of scary how easy that drinks for 10%. Probably gonna feel it, but don't taste and smell any alcohol for 10%. It's definitely a bitter double IPA. This is out of the fridge. I haven't had it in there too long, so I don't think it's too cold yet, but at this temperature, it's pretty much just hops most of the way. There's some malt in there. My first sip, I'm getting a dry lingering hop character in the mouth, but it's a big beer. Just big hop notes up front. Bitter grapefruit. Some sweet orange in there, more of that bit of resinous character. Just a lot of hops, maybe a little touch of earthiness in there. I'm guessing they're using a bunch of varieties in this one, because it's got, I mean, it's straight up West Coast San Diego style pale ale going on right here. At the end you get a touch of a malt sweetness, but not a whole lot. It's just a big hop bomb. I mean, you can tell it's a double IPA because there's a bit more kind of malt. Get maybe a slight bit of caramel. Mostly kind of biscuity malt character going on. Maybe a slight bit of but what's nice is after you're kind of smacked with that big bitterness up, it's not like a rough bitterness on your palate. It is a smooth drinking beer, and I think that's really that bottle conditioning really helps with the smoothness, and it almost has a creaminess to the beer that you sometimes get with bottle conditioned beers. Whereas if they force carbonated this one, it might be a bit too intense as far as the hop character goes, but yeah, I think it really rounds out the beer in the back end once the hops kind of fade away and that little bit of malt comes into play. But yeah, if you like smacky West Coast IPAs, I think you're going to like this one. Alright, after sipping on Port Brewing's Anniversary Ale, it's warmed up a little bit. Get a little bit more sweetness from the malts as you expect. It's a big 10% double IPA. Bits of caramel, biscuity, kind of bready malts. I mean, there's a touch of sweetness in the back end. It's really not, it's pretty much hops front and middle of the tongue into the back end of the tongue. The malt kind of appears at to try to balance things out, but it doesn't really, because I mean it's a very hop forward, very bitter beer. It's a really good beer. I'm just not sure kind of where to grade this one. Being an anniversary beer, it's like the expectations are so high for these kind of big West Coast beers, but I mean I think it's an excellent IPA. I'm gonna go A- on this one. It's just not completely blowing me away, but I have really no complaints with it. So yeah, it's an excellent beer. I do like it more than last year's. Then again, this is a pretty fresh bottle. Only a couple weeks old at this point, so leaving some nice lacing on the glass. Get it while it's fresh. It should hold up fairly well. I mean, there's a lot of hops in this beer, so pick one up, and they are carbonated. I think they're over those carbonation issues as well. So it's going to wrap it up for the latest 5th anniversary ale from Port Brewing. I can't believe they've only been around 5 years. Seems like a long time for me. But anyway, it's going to wrap it up. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.